Hi guys, welcome to a new video. So I'm currently living in the US as an exchange student from the Netherlands, and so far the best thing about this experience for me is that I got to meet all these amazing people from different countries and learn about them. Today I'm with my dear friend Nina, who has a little social anxiety. So she asked me to introduce her. This is Nina. She is 20 years old. Her favorite animal is 21. A pig.
I love pigs. Also, I'm almost 21, so. Did you hear my stomach?
No.
My stomach's gonna talk.
Oh, now I heard it, yes. She's originally from Nebraska.
Born and raised.
For people who don't know where Nebraska is,
it's like,
click it in now.
It's like smack dab in the middle of the United States.
Literally in the middle. Mm-hmm. A psychology major.
Clinical psychology, and my minor is children, youth, and families. It's funny that I want to work with kids because I hate kids, you know? I'm not a fan of kids.
You're full of contradictions.
I know.
Okay, so, first question is, what is the general life of an American person? What does it look like?
Like, for a student, if you are like 3 or 4, you go to preschool, which didn't start until recently. If you have like money, then you send your kids to preschool. I didn't. I went to daycare. And then when I was 5, I went to kindergarten, and that's like our first year of school.
Is that also what they call in the movies first grade?
No.
Oh.
So our first grade is after kindergarten.
Okay.
So the second year is first grade, which makes no sense whatsoever. But then you go all the way up until 5th grade. So that's all of elementary school. And then 6th through 8th grade is middle school, or like junior high. And then it's like freshman through senior for high school, or senior high.
I don't think people know what freshman sophomore is.
Oh, okay, so freshman's first year, sophomore's second year, junior's third year, and seniors are your 4th year and final year.
And then you go to university, and it's again first you're a freshman, then you're a sophomore, then you're a junior, then you're a senior, which is very confusing if you ask me.
Yeah.
So either I'm a sophomore in high school or you're a sophomore in college. If it doesn't make sense.
So I'm a junior in college. So that was like, it's my second time being a junior. But you don't have to go to college. Once you graduate high school, you're done. So a lot of people like don't end up going to college. Or they go to tech school. So it's like welding, engineering, certain things like that, or like dentistry or nursing, those kinds of things. You go to tech school, which can be like found at any tech school, but also like a community college, and you only need 2 years for that. But most college years are 4, and then after that you can get your master's, your master's degree, like your doctorate. Everything adds more years.
And how about you have community college? What are we, UNL?
We're a public university. So,
what's the difference with community college?
So community college is, first of all, a lot cheaper. It's also 2 years. You get your associate's degree. So some people go to like a community college to get their associate's degree, and that's like your general education. So some people go there first, and then they transfer those credits to a university. And then it's like you do 2 more years.
And then there's also private university.
Yeah, and the only thing I know that's the difference between a public and a private university is the price. Because private colleges are so expensive.
Yeah. Like
twice as expensive for no reason. They also are not like handicap accessible at all. That's why I went here.
Good to know. Your school system, you have ABC, right?
Yes.
How does that work?
So, in like kindergarten through high school, the grading, well, I guess in elementary school, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4. So.
Until 4. And what's the best? A 4?
Yes. Yeah. So like a 4 is an A, a 3 is a B, and like so on. Like it's all the way to 0 is an F. Which not a lot of people get zeros because you're kids. So like 3rd graders are forced to like do math in class. So not a lot of homework. So it's really hard to fail. That's just like to be like, when you take your report card and be like, Mom, I got all 4s. It was like an exciting thing.
Yeah.
So
Do
I
you get money when you show your thing?
no.
We have that. When
Ooh.
kids like are very, my parents didn't do that because they always said, oh, you go to school just for yourself. But I know that a lot of children, they would go to all the grandpas and grandmas and get like money for their, yeah, and they were like young.
My God, I wish
Yeah.
I had that. No, sometimes if we got all fours, our parents might take us to dinner. Because going out to eat was a huge thing for us.
And then you go to McDonald's, right?
No. No, not in my family. I first had McDonald's, I think I was in middle school when I first had it.
But I don't think that's very American. I think that
McDonald's?
a lot of children go to McDonald's like once a week.
Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of people I knew did. Or they'd go to like other like fast food places.
Mm-hmm.
My dad wouldn't let us go. He would like make food. And now that I think back, because we were like, I just want to go get McDonald's. And he was like, no. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really glad he said no, because I appreciate like home cooking. Now that I've been in college for 3 years, so whenever I go back home, I always ask my dad to make certain things because it's just so much better and it tastes better.
Yeah. Even though the dining hall is here kind of okay.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
We were talking about the grades. So up to 4
Oh, yeah.
in elementary school.
And then middle school and high school is when you get like A through F. So they go on percentages. So it's like an A is like a 90 to 100%. And there's like minuses and pluses, but when I was in high school, we didn't do minuses and pluses. It was just like letter grades. So then a B is 70 to 80%. No, 80 to 90%. A C was 70 to 80% and like so on. So an F would be 50 to 0%. So that was interesting.
What do you think that's like the average? Because what all I see in American movies is that people are either straight A's or they have like F's.
Movies are so stereotypical. Like any movie about high school is not true at all. Like the stereotype of the cheerleaders. Nobody knew our cheerleaders. They were like not even that cool. Like it was basically the rich kids who played sports. That was like the thing of being popular. It's just weird.
Okay.
But yeah, what was your question?
How the grades were and like what the average is.
So an average, I would say like a B, a C plus or a B minus, like when you get to college. And that's like the pluses and minuses are in college. But I feel like it's very much like a B or a C is average. So like now in college we say C's get degrees because a lot of people are concerned with getting like straight A's. Honestly, when you get a job after college, they just see if you have a degree. They don't really care if you had straight A's or not. So if you pass the class, that's great. So that's what I try to aim for is a C. B is like really nice, but it's hard to get A's.
So usually when you graduate high school, how old are you?
About 18. Some people barely get by at 17, depending on how old you were when you started. So like I have a friend, Dakota, who she has her birthday like in this summer, and I think, well, she's like really young for her grade. So I think she graduated when she was 18, but some people do it 17, depending on their birthdays and when they start kindergarten.
So when you're born, now that we talk about birthdays, when you're born, is it like usually big families, small families in the United States? Is it like a working mom or 2 working parents, single moms?
It's a lot of different things.
You have 330 million people in this country.
Yeah, we have a lot. Also, I didn't know that. The public education system
I'm the tech
sucks.
sister, right?
Yeah, but
So where you grew up in like a small town in Nebraska.
yes.
What was the average there?
Most people had like 2 parents. And it was kind of like, of course, when I was born, like gay marriage was not a thing, and so like you couldn't like marry the same like sex person. So most people grew up with like 2 parents. Some friends I know, their parents are divorced, but I didn't know anybody when I was in like elementary school who was divorced. I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But like a lot of times if parents are going through a rough patch, they wait till after their child is like grown up and leaves the house to divorce. Because, you know, like, marriage is a huge thing here. Like, it's very, what am I trying to say? Like, it's not socially acceptable to have a kid before you're married. Like, or you'll get judged. Or, like, teen moms.
Yes, I want to talk about that too.
Yes.
Is prom really what it looks like in the movies?
Oh, hell no. I hated prom. It was so bad. It literally, like, everyone got in a fight. First of all, we have homecoming, too.
Oh,
So-
yes. Tell about homecoming. What is that?
Okay, so homecoming in high school, the football game is like on a Friday night, and it's just the homecoming game, I guess. And then Saturday night, there's a huge dance that like all ages in high school, so like 14 to 18, are allowed to go. And then that's in like September, so like towards the beginning of school. And then in like April or May, we have prom. So that's like only juniors and seniors can go. It's like the older ones. So it basically is like a party, like a dance. Nobody spikes the punch because, like at our high school, because everyone got in fights, we had like the cops there. And then like all the principals. This is America's like public schools, which suck.
Horrible.
No, yeah, there was one year that like the cops started dancing with everybody, but then she got fired. So she was nice though.
What?
Yeah, but there's like a lot of people there to make sure that like nothing happens. And you have to pay to get in. You have to buy tickets. And a lot of people try to sneak in so they don't have to pay, and they won't let them.
Is it also like the corsage thing?
Some people do it. Lydia did it, my sibling, in high school. I didn't because I didn't have a date. But I honestly didn't go some of the
I
years.
do feel that like in the movies they only show that people have dates.
Because that's a big thing. So like my mom, when she was like younger, she ended up not going to prom one year because her boyfriend broke up with her before.
Oh my god.
So it's like a very like a stigmatism. I feel like if you go, or like a stigma, whatever, if you go without a date, it's like you're a loner. Or you're like,
You don't go with your friends?
I did. I went to homecoming with my friends. And then all the fights broke out. So I was like, Mom, can you come pick me up?
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Do girls get pregnant at prom?
they definitely have sex. I knew a lot of people who were pregnant in high school. Somehow I was always friends with them. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now you're friends with the international students.
I
I don't know what's better.
honestly, this is so much better. Because you guys aren't like leaving to go have babies and then come back single moms, you know? But it always happened to be that their boyfriends were like the most awful people. And they were always like, oh, I hate him. And they're like, I love him, he gave me a baby. I'm like, girl, you're 16.
I always like saw the movies and then it's like the quarterback that becomes like homecoming king.
It's not like that.
Oh,
It's
not?
the kids, like the poor kids, most of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They don't have enough money to like end up paying for a kid. So it's kind of ironic. But also I think the rich kids, like if they got pregnant, their parents were like had enough money to give them abortions, you know?
You need to pay for abortion.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I've never had one, so that's pretty obvious. But I don't know. I've never looked into it, but I do know we have like Planned Parenthood, which does them, and people think that all they do is abortion, but they're like really good because they do like cancer screenings and STD testing, and they're good about like giving free birth control. So I don't know if they would do free abortions. Maybe. But like honestly, it back then, like when I was little, I don't think they were legal, which sucks and it's so stupid. So that's why they would go like the backyard butchers is what they call them, but like the rich people could pay to have them.
Okay, so you graduate from high school.
Yes.
A lot of people go to university or college or community college or
Yeah.
anything like that.
I would say like over half go on for education. Maybe more than half, so maybe like 2/3 of like high school students end up going on and continuing education.
What do the rest do?
They just like work. They like end up like finding jobs and just or staying at home. I don't know, because it's so expensive. College is like it's very expensive.
How much would you pay for a semester?
Like here,
And this is a cheap school, by the way. I heard
it's way cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Though I don't remember what it's like here, but a college that I like toured at, it was like 40,000 a year. 46,000, I think. And the thing is, you can get scholarships, you can apply, but there's no guarantee that, like, I applied for so many and I didn't get any. I got one. So like that's even more expensive. And then we have to go through like financial aid. So we have to do this thing called FAFSA, and it's like you have to fill out how much your parents make, like how much is like your household income, whatever, and then they tell you if you're eligible for a grant. And I wasn't eligible because my parents have enough in savings, but not enough to actually pay for me to go to college. So then we had to do like the financial aid, and we had to get loans. So then like this company will pay for me to go to school, but after the year ends or the semester, my mom has to pay them back. So that's like a very stressful thing. She is always so overwhelmed with like paying the bills.
I feel like that's a very American thing.
Yeah. It's because everything's so expensive. When I had COVID and I was in the hospital, it was $30,000 for 2 days in the hospital.
Wow. That's crazy.
For the total. I mean, I get that I'm like in a room, I have this medicine, I had like IV fluid, I had a lot, but like for 2 days, 2.5 days.
And that's also not covered by health insurance.
Well, the thing is also, health insurance is expensive, and they don't even like help. Because that is another thing my mom struggles with, because it's like they refuse to pay for things because like they don't find it necessary. So like I do physical therapy twice a week, and for like a year I had to have like 3 doctors and my mom and like 2 physical therapists write notes to insurance to tell them that I needed therapy, but without that they wouldn't pay for it.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's so expensive to live here.
Yeah.
But then if you don't have insurance, if you get like in an accident or like you have to go to the hospital for any reason, you have to pay it out of pocket. And that's like even worse.
Yeah.
So
it can be millions.
Yeah. So you pay insurance to pay for things, but then you pay them and then they don't pay for things. But if you don't have insurance, like you don't pay that thing, but then if something happens, you like have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Same with like car insurance.
So a lot of people take loans here, I guess, in the United States.
For school, definitely. Sometimes for cars. Anything that's like expensive.
And how long do you have to pay back those student loans?
Student loans kind of depend on like where you loan them from or like you get them. So like right now, like the president made this like loan disbursement thing. So basically when you're done, they let you have like an extra time. I'm not sure if it's 6 months or a year, but you have that extra time to pay it back with no interest.
You know how long that is in my country? 40 years. You have 40 years to pay for student loans.
No way. I've like 6 months.
At like little or no interest.
No, if you get over like 2 years or something after you graduate, you like start having to do interest.
Wow.
Can I come live with you?
Well, you need to take the boat to get there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't fly on a plane.
Naina is in a chair that can't be in the plane, so she needs to take a boat if she wants to go somewhere abroad.
I know. I'll take a cruise.
Okay, so you graduate and then you just work for life. There's like...
Pretty much.
Okay.
So we have like retirement funds. So usually you retire at like, they say mid-60s are like the senior age. So my mom is in her mid-60s, but she probably won't be able to retire for another 10 years because she's paying for college. So she won't have enough money to like retire.
And when you retire, you get like funds from the government for like housing?
No. You do get like, you can get on like Medicare. So that's like another health insurance that like the government does once you're over a certain age. And then they have Medicaid, which is like under 65, but like for people like me with disabilities. But that's another thing is that I've been trying for like 3 years and I can't get on it.
Oh my God.
So right now my mom's 64. She needs to apply because she'll turn 65 in a few months. So she needs to apply now so that when she turns 65, she can get it. Because after you turn that age, it's like harder to get on it. It's so confusing.
To be honest, when I was here on like holidays, I would think, oh yeah, the United States and all the great things are happening.
Oh, yeah.
And now that I actually live here, it's so different experience.
I know. Well, they say like the USA is like land of the free, but you're only pretty much fully free
if you have like a really good job.
If you're like a straight cisgendered white man. That's what it's come down to.
With a good job.
Yeah. Wealthy, straight cis white man. And that's what like our government is run on.
Yeah.
White men with money. It's wonderful.
And Biden is like 82, so he really is like...
He's gonna, yeah.
He's really like working for
Is he 80 yet?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought he was like 77.
No, he's 82.
God. Yeah. That's also really scary because, I mean, I voted for him, but I was like, the thing is our government is weird when voting. So you basically like each side votes on people to be like their one against one. So my one against one was like a really bad one and an okay one. So I had to choose the okay one. Wasn't my first choice, but it was better than the other one. So like,
at least you voted.
Yeah. Well, I'm like I think it's very important to vote, especially like with a big one like that.
Do you feel like the people in the United States realize that voting is very important, or?
They do, but I think they just aren't educated. Like, I don't think a lot of people really know what they're voting for.
Oh, he's 80, not 82. Okay. He's 80.
That's so old. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, for him, he's not the worst person that we could have, but I think we need to get...
In your opinion.
Yes, in my opinion. Thank you. But I feel like we need to get the old, wealthy white men out of the office. Because they don't understand what it's like to be like an average citizen. Because they don't know what it's like to be like, first of all, a person of color. Because they don't know, because like black people have a hard time living here.
I do feel that this video is turning into a political video.
Sorry, I will stop talking.
No, continue. Okay.
I'll keep it short.
No. Continue. It's your video today.
I just think that we need somebody who like knows what it's like to be in the average working class like life and isn't 80 years old. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. We're off.
Run for office.
No, I have social anxiety. I could not. I could be like the campaign manager, so I could tell them what to say.
And then you run around in your wheelchair and everybody's like jumping on the side of the road for you. No, I'm coming! That would be so
Oh my god,
funny.
I would like hide. I want to crawl into a hole. No, thank you. I'll just be like giving directions, like on the phone from a different building.
Okay, but in general, people retire at like 65.
Yes.
But not if they don't have enough funds. Then they just work until they are 80 or
until they have enough to like live kind of comfortably until like death, basically.
How about housing? Like, is it hard to buy a house in this country?
Right now, it is. Like, with the economy the way it is, like, housing prices are up so far. So I'm glad I don't have to buy a house right now.
But it's not like you don't have enough houses.
Oh, we have plenty of houses. I think there was like a statistic, I don't remember what it meant or what it said. I think it was like how many empty apartments and houses and any buildings pretty much. And then like the fraction of that is how many homeless people we have. So we have like so much housing, enough for everybody to like live comfortably in a building. But like people want money. So they like try to sell it for too much. And I think that's why like the housing market definitely went up.
You feel like there's a lot of homeless people in this country?
Yes. There's a ton, especially veterans. Like a lot of veterans who first of all have like PTSD or anything, they really are treated poorly if they don't have enough money. So there's a lot of veterans living in California on the streets.
I did this paper where I had to find out stuff about veterans, and then I looked at the statistics, and it's like a little bit less than 10% of your population is a vet.
Mhm.
And in my country, it's less than 0.1%.
Yeah.
So I do feel that it's a very big thing here. And yeah, they all suffer with like social anxiety,
Yeah.
PTSD, and then,
Injuries too, like physical injuries. And I'm also, since I'm a psych major, I like value mental health, and that's like one of my biggest things.
I feel that's also a big thing here, like
Yeah.
mental health.
It's starting to be. It like never used to be. Like people thought like if you went to a therapist or a counselor, like that you were crazy or something, and it's really not. Like they're real medical issues that happen like with mental illness. And that somebody like in one of my classes said a long time ago that if you had like a leg injury, you would go to the doctor and you like walk on crutches or something. So if you have like a mental injury, you need to like nurse that wound too and go to a doctor and get help. So I feel like a lot of veterans, they don't get the help they need, like physically or mentally. So that like adds on to the homelessness.
And it also like costs you your health insurance, and they are not paying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this circle, I feel,
Yeah.
in this country.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to say it's getting better because I'm not actually sure, but I feel like, because I have a friend who is in the Navy right now, or he's like training to be in the Navy. I feel like this generation of soldiers will have like, they'll get better treatment after.
I do feel that mental health is like getting better, because
Mm-hmm.
with the whole COVID thing, and you had TikTok and all these people like
Yeah.
having nothing to do back at home, and I feel like from the US it flew over to like my country, Europe, all over the world, and now
Mhm.
because of your country, mental health is such more an issue, I guess.
Yeah. I feel
More
like,
addressed.
yeah, I think also it was so, like people wanted to like hush down, like you didn't say if you were depressed or anything. So I think now that people feel like they can speak out about mental illness, that more and more people are realizing that they too have anxiety or depression, and they feel like there's other people there that will listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's different than it used to be.
I do feel that's really like coming from the influence of this country.
Yeah.
I do have to say, back in my home country, people are very tough, I would say. And like when people mention like, oh yeah, I got anxiety, this, that, we will definitely be like, oh, like, oh, there's another one, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually an issue, but sometimes it gets like repeated so often now, and especially with like the American terms for it, people get tired about it.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel bad to mention that, but I do feel like that. I never realized that my country is like every year there's this statistics about like how happy is each country,
Mm-hmm.
and my country is like pretty high, and I never gave it that much thought. And then I came here and I heard like so many people talk about mental health, and then I'm now thinking like, damn, people in my country are really happy. What the fuck are they doing? They have
Yeah.
all this rain and winds, and well, apparently it's doing them good, but we in Nebraska we have wind. Maybe we need some rain here.
We have so much wind. It's insane.
Yeah, what are the like the climate? What is it like here?
So we have 4 seasons. So like spring is, well, here it's so windy, and in April it rains a lot.
It's very flat in Nebraska.
It's very
so-
flat. I think that's what, there's nothing like stopping the wind from blowing, so that doesn't help. So it's like in March it's so windy, and in April it rains a ton.
You have tornadoes too.
We have well, in the summertime we have so many, like anywhere in the Midwest I feel like there's always like an alert going off about a tornado somewhere, even if it's super small. We do, especially in Nebraska, we have tornadoes. We haven't had like a really bad one in a few years, so like let's hope that we don't, now that I said something. But yeah, and then fall is my favorite, and
Why?
oh, it's like so cool, and like there's a nice breeze and not like heavy wind, and then it's just like sweater weather. So I hate the summertime because it's so hot and it's really humid where we are. So I just like, I don't like going outside because I feel like I sweat everywhere I go. But in the fall I can wear like a long sleeve and go outside and sit out for a while and it's a nice breeze. And then it doesn't last very long because then we have winter. And I feel like our fall time is about 2 weeks and that's it. And then it goes from summer to winter. So then winter is like, it's pretty cold. And we get snow, but we haven't gotten snow in a while. So it's, I don't know, sometimes like the snow it'll fall down or it'll like flurry, but it doesn't stick to the ground. And then either that and it just gets icy. So then people like fall over in the streets.
Do you see yourself living somewhere else than the Midwest?
I don't know. I guess I've never really traveled that far. Like I've gone to Pennsylvania, but other than that, the only places I've traveled, like, is Colorado pretty much. I mean, I've gone to Chicago, but that's all pretty much in the same area. So I don't know. I don't want to be too far away from my family, but also I want to be a little far away from them. Just enough where I can have my own space. So I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Do you feel like that's a thing that people, like, they are born in a certain state and then they stay there? Do you feel like that's a very American thing?
Yeah. It's like two different types of people. There's some who really just love to travel, like Dakota, because she's from California, and she came to school here. She might go to nursing school in New York. Like, she's just thinking about it. She is very much one of those people that, like, loves to go out places. She's very, like, independent, you know? And then I'm just scared I'm going to get trapped somewhere. Like, I don't know. I'm the opposite, where I pretty much stay kind of in the same area as where I grew up. So I don't know. I mean, I've never lived anywhere else, so I would love to travel, but I don't know how I feel about staying somewhere where I know nobody. Like, I want someone that I can, like, lean on if I need something. And my family is, like, so far away, that'd be hard to do.
Total different subject, but how about some local dishes? What are, like, typical American things? I can guess some now that I live here, but
I feel like when you think of American food, it's like bar food. So like hamburgers and hot dogs. In the summertime, people like grill. They have like barbecues in their backyard, and having like hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, and then like watermelon is a very like summertime in America like meal. And then we eat a lot of pizza and pasta, pretty much carbs. And I can't eat carbs, so that's wonderful for me. But none of our like Italian dishes are very Italian. Like American pizza is a huge thing. And I feel like spaghetti that we have is noodles and like tomato sauce, and that's it.
That was my thought when I came to the diners here. I was like, that ain't spaghetti.
I know. Then we also, one thing you and I talked about is that like the fried food.
So the other day I thought of, oh, they have asparagus on the menu. It's fried asparagus.
Really?
Yeah.
I love asparagus.
Yeah, but they were fried, and I thought, oh, this is so American. And I was at a fair, and they had like Oreos, and then it turned out fried Oreos and fried Snicker. Why would you fry that? That does not make sense.
Honestly, sounds kind of good. Like, I would try it.
You're so American.
But I am very American, but I wouldn't eat it all the time. I feel like our fairs, like, we'll have roller coasters and whatever, and it's all fried food.
Corn dogs, that's
Corn
so
dogs,
American.
Yeah. So I don't eat a lot of fried food, but I also grew up with my dad, who is a really good cook, and he makes so much, like, good, healthy stuff. So whenever we'd get fried food, it was a treat. So I don't know if I would try like to fry anything, but like asparagus, I like it by itself, so like I probably wouldn't fry it.
How about some traditions and holidays in the United States?
So we just had Thanksgiving, so that's like it's very like historically inaccurate, because we were told as kids like the Pilgrims came over and we called them Indians, and they're not, because like the first person to come here thought he was in India. What a loser. Yeah, I know. I'm so glad we don't celebrate Columbus Day anymore. It's now Indigenous Peoples Day, which it has always should have been. But anyway, Thanksgiving is like the Pilgrims came over and had dinner with the Indians, and they ate this food, and then they were all friends. That's like what they taught us in elementary school, which is not true. The white people came over and slaughtered all the indigenous people, and then this one tribe didn't want to get killed, so they like had a pact. So that's why they ate together. So we still have Thanksgiving. I just go because it's like I want to eat food, you know? So everyone has like it's a bunch of side dishes, and there's turkey, and it's you just like eat a huge dinner together. So that's Thanksgiving. And then we have Christmas, which is the best. I love Christmas. I think I just love like the feeling about it, and just it's just fun. But we just dressed up our room. We have lights and a Christmas tree, and it's very cute.
I love that.
And then like New Year's, on New Year's Eve, we've always watched like the New York City, like the ball drop. So, and you count down to midnight, which is funny because like New York is a different time zone. So the ball would drop when it was 11 here.
Yeah.
So then we'd have to wait another hour, and then it'd be like New Year's.
And then you're in California, it takes you like 3 more
yes.
hours.
Yeah. So that one, it wasn't really fun for me because you stay up till midnight, but as a kid, like I had to go to bed. And in the past few years, like I've stayed up, but it's just boring. Because if you don't go to a party and like have glitter everywhere and like just
the disco ball.
Yeah, then it's not really fun for anybody else. Like my mom and I would like stay up, and we were so tired that when like the one in New York dropped, we're like, get the champagne and we're going to bed. Like,
oh my god.
Just because
you don't do fireworks with New Year? New Year's?
We do on the 4th of July, because that's like our Independence Day. Don't know what that means. It's my dad's birthday though.
It's my boyfriend's birthday.
Wow. It's also Captain America's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we do fireworks and more like grilled barbecue, like fried food, because it's a very summer thing, and we shoot off fireworks, and everyone like wears red, white, and blue because of the flag colors. I wore green because I'm not. It's gonna be
That's
very.
St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day.
I love green, but also this is not gonna sound very patriotic, but I'm not proud of my country. So that's
Are you
like,
serious? I've met you like 3 months ago and never heard you say that.
Yeah, ever. No, not at all. No, I'm not proud of my country because we've done some shitty things and not taken ownership of it. So I'm like wearing black and green. I actually this year I wore black, like mourning the country. This is so bad. I feel like I'm like the FBI is gonna show up and like yell at me. Because everyone wears like red, white, and blue, and I'm like, I'm here to drink, and that's it.
How about other holidays or traditions? You also have Memorial Day, right?
Yeah, we have Memorial Day and Labor Day.
What are those?
So, I'm not the best person to ask. Again, no, like, I don't know. I don't know much. Because it's not taught to us. But Memorial Day is in May. And it's basically like, you, like, mourn the people that you've lost. Especially veterans. Like, it's very much like the people who fought in, like, the wars. Like, you mourn them. And since, like, my parents had a son before I was born, he died. So, like, we used to go see his grave. It's, like, any time you drive past the cemeteries, there's a ton of people. Because it's, like, a day to, like, mourn the ones you've lost. And then Labor Day, really don't know what it is.
What do you do on Labor Day?
We don't have school. So, like, Labor Day weekend, it's always, like, on a different date. But it's always, like, a Monday. So, Labor Day is, like, the weekend. And then Labor Day, like, Monday, is always off. Like, nobody goes to work. I mean, people go to work. But a lot of people have it off. And then, like, we never had school. So, that's the only reason I was excited. It's the only reason I know what it is, because I don't have to go to school.
Do you feel like whenever there's, like, a holiday, people go travel, or do they stay at the house? Because your holidays are not that long. So, okay, I want to say this. Back home, we have a holiday, and then it starts like on Saturday until the week after. On Monday you go to school again, which is like for
Whoa.
9 days you have.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Then I got here and they said, oh yeah, we have fall break. And it started on Saturday, and I have to be back in school on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
I actually missed class. I came here to the room, and Emily, their roommate, said, oh yeah, I have class in like 10 minutes. And I was like, you have class, but it's like fall break. She said, no, that was still yesterday. So I skipped class that morning without me knowing, because I thought, oh, at least we have 5 days off. It was actually like only 2 working days.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't, like, I guess the only school break is we had like Christmas break. And then
How long is that?
Ours is a month. So actually a little over a month. So when is the last day of finals? It's like the 17th?
16th.
16th.
Because then my visa is ending.
Okay, so the 16th. 16th of December is like our last day. We don't come back for the spring semester until January 23rd is when classes start. So like kids in like elementary, middle, and high school, the public schools, they have 2 weeks. They go home like the week of Christmas, like the beginning of the week, and then they come back a few days after New Year's. So we get more time than they do. So that's like a month.
But what do you feel like people are doing all that time?
Some people go traveling. I sleep and try to like spend time with my pets because I don't have like the rest of the year to do it. But a lot of people travel because you have time to travel and not have to like rush back to school.
Or work. For other
Yeah.
people.
And then we have spring break, which is just a week. So that's when a lot of people travel. Like college students go to like the beach. They do friends trips.
Cancun.
Like Myrtle Beach. They go on trips, and like spring break is basically to go get drunk in a different place.
Yeah.
In like a warm, sunny place. Other than that, it's really, I mean, I never traveled. Like we would go to like Colorado to visit my family on Christmas sometimes.
Yeah.
But we never like went on a week's vacation.
Yeah.
Because my parents had to work for the days around the holidays.
Makes sense.
Imagine you put it in, me saying, I'm so glad you're going to edit this, and then you don't edit it out. Oh god, that would be embarrassing. I was good in high school. I got like a lot of A's. And I got to college and depression hit. And then I finally got on top of it with like meds and everything. And then I had COVID. And then my grandma died. And then a lot of things happened. So.
And now we are leaving.
I know.
You're nice international friends.
You know, I don't want you guys to go.
I know.
It's really sad.
Okay, we're gonna cry together. So, thanks for watching. Ciao.
Bye.